Welcome to True Real Estate Horror Stories. My name is Mike McNamara. I'm your host, and I am here with Stephanie Grant. Thank you for joining me.
You are welcome.
So, can you tell everybody about yourself? How long you've been in the industry, production levels?
Sure. I am Stephanie Grant. I currently work with Coldwell Banker, Premier. I am a second-generation realtor. So my mother was in the real estate business for a little over 30 years.
Okay.
And I was one of the ones that used to drive around with her and read the directions from the directional book. So she
Gotcha.
knew where to turn, left, right, whatever.
Old school before
Old
the internet.
school.
Yeah.
This was when we did not have lock boxes.
Right.
So we had to go to the brokers, pick up the key,
Wow.
show the property, drop the key off.
Yeah.
If the key wasn't there, you're kind of out of luck.
Yeah, and this is also where they have the big book, right?
Yes,
With all the
we
listings
have the
in
big
the book.
book. She showed it to me the other day. I said, you gotta keep that dinosaur. That might be worth something
Does she
in
still
the
practice?
future. A little bit.
Yeah.
But
Good.
really just referrals, and then she's hanging out with my father, so
Gotcha.
doing her thing.
Which office are you
Yes.
out of? with
I
the-
am in the Henderson office, but we have 3 locations around the valley. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Mhm.
So what do you got for us?
What do I have for you? I know I was debating what story. Okay, so I'm not going to go into details,
Okay.
but the whole thing with making sure, okay, so on this transaction, I was representing my buyer. So I'm the buyer's agent.
Okay.
And we are calling to make sure the house is, okay, so this house had a owner, so it was occupied.
Okay.
So of course you had to make the appointment
Yep.
to schedule to view the property. Did that, the seller's agent got back to me, you're good to go,
What
perfect.
kind of price point are you?
This was, gosh, I wanna say it was maybe 3s,
Okay.
maybe mid 3s, because I work with a lot of first time home buyers.
Same here.
So yeah, so it was maybe mid 3s, and this was a few years back. So we get to the property, use the lockbox, because of course I now have permission to enter the
Right.
property. One thing for me that I noticed is the house was in darkness. So as my clients are kind of, walking around, going towards the kitchen, I'm flipping open the blinds,
Trying to
opening
get
up the
the
windows,
eye.
trying to
Yeah.
get some light so we could see.
Yeah.
And then it was a single story. And I left them in the living room, and I'm starting to go down the hallway now to flip on more lights and, open up the bedroom doors, because all the bedroom doors are closed, and it's just
Which is also
dark.
a little eerie.
A
when you're
little
walking
eerie,
through it,
yes.
you
And this
know.
is the middle of the day,
Yeah.
because I don't really like to do showings after dark.
Yeah.
So and that's just safety reasons, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going down the hallways, and I think it was maybe 3 bedrooms. So I open up this 2 secondary bedrooms, and now I'm getting towards the primary bedroom, which is at the end of the hall. As I walk up to open the door, something inside of me was like, you get that feeling, right? And I'm
Somebody's
something,
wrong.
something.
Yeah.
But the house, nobody was supposed to be there.
Right.
We had permission to get in. So I open up the door slowly, of course, and the room is like this room. And I know we have some people that like to sleep with the blackout
The black
curtains.
shades,
Yeah,
yep,
not me.
yep.
Like I get that, but you can't. I couldn't even see like a
Indoor.
couple of feet inside the room. So I remember the bathroom was to my left, and then the rest of the room was straight ahead. So as I'm walking in, I'm hearing this noise, and I'm thinking, what is that? And then as I hear, now my clients are still in the kitchen, in the living room, walking around, looking at the house. And I'm thinking, okay, either there's an animal, because I didn't know, like,
Which
if
also
I'm
you have to
hearing,
be careful,
right,
right.
if I'm hearing like a growling noise, but then I'm thinking, okay, is it an animal or is it a person? But
See.
I can't see anyone. So I'm about 2 or 3 steps in, and something again to me was like, don't go any further. So I back out. I close the door, I turn around, I walk back up the hall. So now I meet my clients, and they're getting ready to come down the hall, and I said, I don't think we should go any further. There's just something, let's leave.
Right.
So they were like, well, we want to see the house, because by this, I think it was maybe our 3rd or 4th property that day
Gotcha.
we were viewing. And they were really trying to get into something. They liked the floor plan, they liked the single family, the price was right, blah, blah, blah. So I'm explaining now, my back is to the hallway that I just came up to, talking to them in the living room or kitchen area, whatever. And I said, nah, let's go. I'm gonna, call the agent, make sure I think there's an animal maybe in there. I don't know if they're caged, I don't know what type of animal, I don't know
Right.
what's going on.
Right.
But for our safety, I wouldn't go any further. So I was able to convince my client, because it was my client, it was like a mother and a daughter. And she says, okay, fine. She wasn't really happy with me, but she was like, whatever, let's go.
Right.
As we get ready to now leave like the area to go out of the property, some reason I turned around to look back down the hall, and there's a man standing there in the hallway in his trunks, because obviously he was sleeping, with a gun pointed at me.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm a realtor. I'm showing the property.
Yeah.
Your agent said it was fine. We didn't know anybody was here.
Yeah.
He is pointing this gun at me, thinking we are intruders into his property, which I get, because now he's sleeping, he's hearing this noise, and he's waking up out of his sleep. So when I said that, because I have a clipboard, I usually carry a clipboard with me with the sheets and the information and all that. I dropped the clipboard and I held my hands up, and I said, whoa, 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 whoa. And then a few seconds later, he put the gun down. He was like, oh my gosh, I thought you guys were trying to rob me. I didn't know what was going on. I'm in a deep sleep. And I just heard this noise.
Yeah.
So I was like, first of all, thank the Lord, he didn't shoot.
And also thank the Lord that he didn't act when you were in the room.
Yes,
or anything like that,
and that was the reason why I had that feeling not to go any further, because he told me later he sleeps with his gun under his pillow.
Right.
So had I went in now feeling around the walls for the light switch, because I can't see anything in the room, I don't know, we don't know what would have happened, right?
Right.
So he was apologizing, and I get it. Now my client's freaking out. She runs out the front door, which I don't blame her. Her daughter runs out the front door, and now she's out there panicking, breaking down.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to the agent, and I'm saying, I apologize. I'm sorry. He's apologizing. We're both apologizing. And I said, I'm glad you were trained enough to not just shoot. Right then, because that wouldn't have, ended any good.
Yeah.
So he puts the gun away, and he said, yeah, my agent never told me he's a graveyard worker, so he's a day sleeper. That's why the house was in darkness. He was sleeping to go to his night shift. And it's Vegas, right?
Yeah.
We're transient, we have 24-hour shifts.
Yep.
I get it. So he was like, he said, I'm trained with the weapon, so I knew not to react once he saw me and saw the situation. It wasn't like we were there in mask and had a sack over our back. We were professional dress, my client's there. He knew the house was on the market, but he said the agent never told him to expect a showing.
Gotcha.
So finished that. Obviously, I backed out, went outside. Now I'm trying to calm down my client, because now she's like, we're done. Like, she didn't want to look at any more properties that day, and I get it. She was panicking. Her daughter was panicking, everything. And so got her to calm down. I said, okay, go enjoy your evening, get to some rest. We'll pick this up again the next day. And then I go to my car, and I get on my phone. I'm like,
no clue what just happened.
Hello there. I just want to let you know, I almost lost my life. My client might have also lost their life, because you told me when I called you and asked you, to set up this schedule. Now I don't believe showing time was around back then. So you call, you text, whatever, right?
But even in today's market, some people use showtime,
some people still don't. And I said, I called you and I set up this appointment, and you never told me about your client possibly being in the house sleeping, because he's a day sleeper. And she goes, oh, no, the house is supposed to be vacant. He's not supposed to be there. I said, well, he was. He was there, he was sleeping, and he almost shot us.
So this listing agent did not know that their client lived in the property?
No, they didn't know that they were going to be there that day.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
They thought it was going to be vacant.
Right, but the house is occupied. He lives there.
Right.
He's a day. I would assume.
Confirm.
Yes, you always confirm, especially knowing that it's a day sleeper. Sometimes you'll even see that in the agent
I even asked
remark.
my sellers if they have weapons, like if they carry.
Well, that too.
So that's part of my process. Is I always ask them, do you have firearms around the house? I usually recommend that anytime we have showings, you lock them up.
Yeah.
But also, I want to know kind of are they protective? You know, what's their style so that I'm overprotective
Yes.
of everybody else coming in.
Especially these days.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you know, he's sleeping with it under his pillow, and I get it. You can do whatever
Sure,
you want to do
sure,
in your own house
absolutely.
and your own turf. You're protecting your turf. But I really had to get into that agent, and she apologized. And I said, yeah, moving forward, you need to talk to them, because I think what happened is I think she texted her client,
And he just never responded.
and she told us go ahead.
Gotcha.
But maybe he was sleeping when she
Right.
texted him, so she should have never confirmed our showing.
Right.
Knowing that he's a day sleeper, because I would assume when you take this listing, you have that conversation.
Absolutely.
You know, okay, this is their patterns. Like I've seen remarks where it says, okay, don't show between these hours and this hours,
Right.
day sleeper, you know, or
This
these
is a
days.
series of questions you ask your client, and how do you want showings
Exactly.
to work?
Yeah. So I'm grateful that we were able to get out of that situation, but it could happen to anyone,
Yeah.
and it could happen to at any time, especially now. You know,
Yeah.
now I mean, I don't remember him having like a ring system, the doorbell thing. So
Right.
maybe that would have alerted him. He didn't. There was no alarm to disarm. That might have alerted him. But now you have cameras. You have doorbell cameras. You have,
Right.
you know, you might even have sensors. Maybe people start having those red, what are the laser lights?
Right,
You know,
it
you
just
cross
sets
the line
everything
and
off,
sets
right.
everything off. But you know, just to be aware of that. If you know your clients are on that opposite schedule than the norm, you know, just be extra careful with that, because
I agree.
the safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything you do differently now after this experience?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I make sure if I have situations like that where, say it's a day sleeper or whatever, somebody's occupied, and I actually speak to the agent, because a lot don't want to talk to you.
I know, that's a very frustrating thing about
Yes.
technology nowadays.
Yes.
Is when I first got into the industry, you could make a phone call and it was almost guaranteed you were getting somebody picking up.
Of course.
And now it's nobody answers. Please text me.
Text me. But I will talk to them, and some of them will get irritated. Why are you calling me? I want to make sure your clients are aware that we are coming, and they'll say yes and okay.
Yeah. So you do like an extra, just
Yes.
double check. if
Well,
it's-
because of that, I have to. If that never happened, probably not.
Yeah.
But because of that, but specifically with the ones where I will see that it says day sleeper, you know, or there's a certain time of hours to go, I will talk to the agent and make sure, did you speak to them? You got the confirmation, okay, we're good.
Right.
And then another thing too, just in my experience, if there's a situation where we're running late, or we have to cancel the appointment, just out of courtesy, call the other side and say, hey,
Absolutely.
you know, we're running 30 minutes late,
Yep.
45 minutes late,
Yep.
or we're early.
I
you
usually
know.
also send a text when I leave. So
Oh, okay.
if the homeowner, if I know there's somebody living there,
Yes.
I figure they're probably walking the neighborhood or they're
Nice.
probably leaving while we're
Yeah.
there. So I usually always just send a courtesy text to the agent, just saying, hey, we just exited the property.
That's good to know too, because I have that situation where the owner may live there and they say, okay, we're gonna go take the dog out, and they'll leave the door unlocked, like it's closed,
Right.
but it's unlocked and we're gonna be in the neighborhood. So
Right.
same thing, we'll show it, and then I leave and say, hey, you know, I closed the door, I didn't lock it, we're finished, so they can go back
Yeah.
and secure
Now,
their
as a
property.
female realtor, do you do anything to protect yourself?
Do I need to disclose that?
Oh, yeah. No, you don't have to. Sorry.
No,
I'm just curious if there's something
I
you recommend.
don't.
Okay.
I don't, but I've taken several self-defense classes, and
Okay.
I definitely recommend that to male or female. Know how to at least get out of that situation
Right, right.
if need be,
Yeah.
right? And then just your normal things, like if you're doing open houses, try to not to do them by yourself.
Yeah,
Try to not
don't
show
show past
yeah,
when it
or
gets
when it's
dark.
dark,
Yeah.
right? Make sure you know the person. Don't just bring them to the office
With
or
the online leads that are coming through, make sure you're not just going
Yes.
straight to a property and meeting them, you're at least doing a consultation.
Exactly.
Making sure you're comfortable with that person. that you're
Exactly,
about
and
to
it's
work
not
with.
always you're not always able to do those things, but and again, this especially for women, listen to this
Right.
because I've even been in a situation where I held an open house and I wasn't able to have another agent there, I wasn't able to have a lender there, so I'm doing my thing, but I position myself where I know, like if I'm in the kitchen, I'm set up The slider door is always unlocked. If I need an easy escape, I'm not now fumbling to move the stick and all of that.
Yeah.
So I always unlock the door, but it's closed, but it's unlocked,
Do
ready
you
to
lock
go.
the front door once you go in?
No,
That's something
because
I do all the time.
it depends on the layout of the house.
Okay.
If I'm in a situation where I can see out the front window or the living room window that faces the street where the people are pulling up and walking up,
Yep.
I don't lock the door because I can now see them. I can see how many are coming,
Gotcha.
and then go from there. If it's a situation where I know, then yes, I lock the door. They'll ring the doorbell, and then I go and meet them. But I had a particular situation with that really quick. I was doing the open house, and it was like a little townhome, upstairs, downstairs. I don't follow them upstairs if it's a vacant home.
I'm the same way.
There's no need. You
Yep.
go do your thing and
Yep.
come down. Let me know if you have any questions.
Yep.
If it's occupied and people's
stuff.
there, yes, I'll walk behind, and that's a whole nother thing. But this particular man, I saw him come in and answering his questions. But then I noticed he I have a space where I try to keep my distance a couple of feet. So as the person may come to me, I kind of back up.
Do a natural
We're
step
doing
back,
this.
yeah.
We're doing this dance, right? So there was an island. So I'm on one side of the island, and he's on the other side of the island. And I noticed he would try to come around, and as he's coming around, I'm going around. Like, we can do this all day, right? We can do this all. So we're circling, and about the third time I said, "Sir, are you interested in the property, or how can I help you?" And he started to get a little agitated, so I pick up my phone and I said, "Okay, I'm going to call, because if you're not here to look at the property, you need to leave right now."
Right.
But then somebody else ended up walking in, and he left.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
yeah, you just have to be careful these
Yeah.
days,
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. All right, so the story is crazy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be so gory.
No, I love it. Like I said, and
Yeah.
what's crazy is you're not the first one talking about a gun.
Okay.
I mean, we've had another person talk about where their client was carrying the gun, and
Oh, and they didn't know.
he didn't know, and then they grabbed the person. It was this whole squatter situation. So, thank you.
Yes.
One
you're
last
welcome.
question.
Yes.
If you have a book to refer to somebody
If I
or
have
to
a
new
book.
agents, or,
Well,
What would you
I love my nursery rhyme books. Those that know me, my sister is a teacher, and I like to go in and read books to the students. One of my favorite books that I love to read, but I also you get so many valuable lessons from it, is The Selfish Crocodile. And the selfish crocodile is talking about just being a selfish animal in the pond with all the other animals, and he doesn't want to share, and all of a sudden he gets this toothache, and there's a little mouse that wants to come and help him, and he doesn't want to hear it, and the mouse finally goes up and helps him with his tooth, and he realizes maybe I shouldn't be so selfish. And it's the same thing with us in our lives, and they all become friends, and they're able to
Working
share the
together.
pond, because he was trying to have the pond out to himself, and that wasn't right.
That's what we need to do more in our real estate industry,
Right.
agent-to-agent relationships. So.
Yes, there's enough business out there for everyone.
There is.
Everyone is just trying to get a little piece of the pie. There's no reason to not have just those professional,
Agree.
courteous relationships between each other, each of us. It makes the world go around a little bit.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I
You're
really appreciate
welcome.
it.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Sweet.